Okay, so we are in the process of changing out these two zippers for the skirt and for this dress. I had suggested earlier, I was doing a test recording to see if the volume in the back on my computer was making too much noise, and actually it was. So I'm just re-recording this. So I started out by saying, before you begin to put your zipper in, um, move your needle back about an inch from where you want your zipper to stop so that you can line everything up with the original seam that you had before you took your zipper out. This will help ensure that the garment is still going to fit like you want it to or like you expect it to. So you're not changing the dimensions, you're just adding a zipper. And that's a good thing to keep in mind when you're making your own clothes. Eventually, you may have to do an alteration on them. So you want to try to stick with the same seam line so that they will continue to fit as they initially did. All right, so I've done a basting stitch right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a loose stitch. It's a basting stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and iron this out and open it up and apply the zipper um, on the inside seam right here. I'm going to open this up. It's not much to work with anymore because it's been it's been whittled down a little bit, so it's going to be a little tricky. I'm going to have to sew really close to the zipper, but I'm going to go ahead and open this up and lay the zipper face down. And on each side of the zipper and the fabric, I'm going to sew. So what I'll do is turn this around and sew only, you can tell I'm holding this phone in my hand, right? And sew only on one side of the seam allowance, okay, with the zipper laid flat. So I'll do that on both sides of the seam. I'll do a basting stitch on both sides of the seam just to hold it in place, and then I'll come back, I'll remove the basting stitch in the middle and do a permanent stitch close to the edge of, or the inside of the zipper. All right, so that's what I'll be working on both pieces. See you soon. Alrighty, so when I say lay the zipper flat on your open seam, I've opened the seam right here. See how much less I actually have? This is 3/8 of an inch instead of a regular 5/8 of an inch seam. But remember, I'm doing an alteration. I'm replacing a zipper. So I am going to lay my zipper on top of this seam with this seam. Can you see the zipper? I have it closed, but I want this middle part to lay equal to this. I want the middle part of this on top of this, okay? So I'm going to have to work with that for a minute. And also, I'm moving the end of the zipper below. I'm moving the end of the zipper below where I actually want it to stop. So what I'm saying is my zipper stop is right here. I do not want mine. Now there's plenty of good practical ways to insert a zipper. I prefer not to have my zipper stop exactly where I need my zipper to stop when I need my zipper to. I prefer not to have my zipper stop exactly where I need it to stop. So I want my zipper to stop here, but I want my zipper stop to be about 1.5 inches below that. And the reason for that is when I get to the place where I need my zipper to stop, I still have some room to sew down and secure my zipper. Okay, that's just how I like to do it. That works for me. So I'm going to go ahead and install the zipper. I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to do both items, the dress and the skirt. I'm going to do them the exact same way. I've got an extra long zipper so I can leave some room at the top, because remember, this has already been opened. See, it's been opened and trimmed. So I need to make sure that I can get right back in that spot where where I initially completed the project, which is right about here. There's not much room to work with. I got to make sure I can get it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and um, I will go ahead and do that for the skirt and the dress. Okay, so the zipper is basted in on each seam allowance. I don't have much to work with, so on each seam allowance. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn the garment inside out, and this is where my zipper is. So I've got this basted seam right here. I've got the zipper basted on the inside to the seam allowance. I'm going to remove this basting stitch that I used as a placeholder, and then when I open, I'll turn the garment back around and I'll begin to sew the zipper itself as close to the zipper teeth as possible down to the end where I need it to stop. And that will be that as far as the zipper application. And then I will come back and close the top of the facing back to where it was, and we'll be done with that application. I'm going to do that on the dress, and I'm going to do that on the zipper. I will give you a shot of the finished product afterwards.